there, this is Real Talk Baseball. I'm Carlos Baseball. With me, as always, is Ernie Orange. And a really special show for you guys today is Easter Sunday. It's the first Sunday of opening day week. And how's it going,
Yeah.
Ernie? Everything good over there on that side, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? We're enjoying a great Easter Sunday here in LA. Rainy weather, but we're enjoying making the best out of it here at our homes, watching, enjoying baseball. What a weekend, man! We
Yeah.
saw baseball at its finest level of competition, and not only that, we saw some punches, shoving going around, players getting mad at one another. What an exciting week! And this is just week one, and we just have so much more exciting things of baseball to come for this
Dude,
upcoming season.
I I feel like this season's gonna be exciting for some reason. There's a lot of like back and forth with teams, and I just feel like it's one of those things where I feel like the MLB is taking off, and I think it's in the uprising where kids are seeing these things and they're like, "Oh, I want to do this. I want to see if baseball is going to really pick up," and it seems like it is, you know. So I'm
Right.
excited. You're excited. I think everybody that's a baseball fan is excited. Roberto, you're here. Thanks, man, for being here. And it's just going to be one of those things where we just need to kind of like sit back and relax and watch and enjoy the games. So with that
Yeah.
said, let's get started.
Today's show is presented by Rival Fantasy, your all-in-one sports fantasy platform, a way to play NBA, MLB, and NFL drafts with your one and only app, Rival Fantasy. Make sure to check it out using rivalfantasy.com or downloading the Rival Fantasy app using code Real Talk Baseball. We have a lot of great opportunities to play, Carlos. It's an amazing app. You have the
It is.
option of paying on a daily, weekly, or even season-long drafts, which is great. You don't have to even make any roster moves. You don't have to really worry about it much. You kind of just play out there and enjoy your roster. It's awesome. You also have the option of playing fantasy bingo with the option of winning different prizes every day. And you have the option of challenging your friends or other people that also want to play, just finding out who's going to have the better fantasy performance that day, which is awesome. We're
It
making a
is.
lot of money, man. And if you want to tell them for every dollar every person puts into you, they match you another dollar up to $200. What a great way to get your money while you can.
And making money, because that's the way you're going to be making money, having fun. So try the app, go to the website and try it out, or challenge us whenever we come going to do this. We're planning to do this live, so we're trying to see if we can get people to come on to it and do it. With that said, let's go into the recap. It was a good recap week. It was a short week. Baseball started on Thursday. There's a lot of news on that, so we want to start with the American League, Ernie, and go ahead and start with the recap of the American League teams.
Yeah, let's get that started. The first matchup of the week was the A's against the Guardians. It was kind of a small crowd out there in Oakland, the Coliseum, but it was all great, man. The Guardians ended up taking the series, winning 3 out of the 4 games. And A's won their first game today with a walk-off walk. So they got their first victory back in the Coliseum. It was an exciting time for them. So
Nice.
the Guardians won 3 out of 4. The next series was the Twins versus the Royals. The Twins took the series 2 out of 3 out of the Royals. Big concern from the Twins roster, though. Royce Lewis goes out with a quad injury that could last up to a month out of baseball, which is kind of sad because he had a pretty promising season. And after last season's playoff run, you thought Royce Lewis would have a good season this year. But, you know, starting the injury list is not the best way.
No.
The next matchup is the Tigers versus the White Sox. The Tigers went ahead and swept the White Sox over the weekend with winning each game by 1 run, which was kind of impressive.
Yeah.
We have the Red Sox Mariners. The Red Sox Mariners went ahead and split the series 2 games each. And Julio Rodriguez got his first walk-off hit yesterday, which was pretty amazing. The Mariners were all celebrating. It looked like playoff
atmosphere. That's what I was saying. Like
yes.
it's like a lot of series have this playoff atmosphere, like this little rivalry type thing. So that's dope. And it's barely the start of the season, so
no, for real.
It's exciting. It's exciting. Go ahead, man. Sorry,
and then
didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's all good, man. Then we have the Angels Orioles. Orioles went and took the series, winning 2 out of 3 games from the Angels. Orioles offense looks amazing, looks powerful, and they took advantage, man. They took advantage of a weak Angels rotation. So, man, those Orioles look scary out there.
They
And
do,
then we
dude.
have the Blue Jays versus the Rays. Two teams that don't like each other from the AOEs, and they went ahead and split the series two games each. And Justin Turner today got his first home run and got a 3-hit game with the Blue Jays. It looked amazing. Vintage Justin Turner. It was great to see.
Nice,
Uh,
nice.
and the final game from the AL, which was an amazing one, the Yankees versus the Astros, two teams with the biggest rivalry for the past decade. Astros have had their number, but what's going on 2024? The Yankees went ahead and swept all 4 games from the Astros. Juan Soto was a big difference in the series, and he's been hot right now. He already hit his first home run, and he even hit the game-winning hit today against Josh Hader, which was very impressive.
Yeah. And you know what? What someone else that needs to get mentioned from the Yankees is Osvaldo Cabrera, man. He did pretty good,
Oh,
dude.
yes.
He had
He's been on hair.
16 at bats, 7 hits, dude. So it's a star-studded team, and then you're hearing someone like Osvaldo Cabrera, and you're like, wait, who is this guy? What is he up to? Like, what is he doing? So I think it's a big shout out for the Yankees, and Juan Soto did come up big. He threw someone out at the home plate, and
Yes.
this is a huge series, not just because it's the beginning of the season, but it's a huge series because the Yankees need to establish themselves and put some of that into the baseball season. Why? Because the past years they've been eliminated by these guys, and this is what I mean. Rivalry week. I think baseball needs to start looking into those matches where you start seeing these little rivalries start, like the Yankees and Astros, and I think it's a good way to entice new fans into watching baseball. So
Man,
that was a good series.
it was a really great series, Carlos. The first 2 games, the Yankees were down, and they were able to overcome deficit, and they fought back. It's a Yankee team that looked very different than the past years, like you said. After losing Garrett Cole earlier in spring training, you were kind of concerned that pitching would be a big factor, but nah, man, these pitchers threw out some gems out there. Nestor Cortez fought himself back. Carlos Rodon is finding himself back again, and it's great to see, man, because
Yeah.
these are 2 pitchers that were struggling last year, and we're seeing a different turnaround this year, man. Aaron Boone was in the hot seat going into the season, so
Yeah.
he's found a way to switch it up. He's brought a bench coach with him, Brad Ausmus, to help him out. He's doing everything he can in his power to get the Yankees team back into the playoffs, and New York really desperately needs the Yankees to be in the MLB playoffs.
That's true. And what about Stroman? He did pretty good as
Ooh.
well yesterday. So I
He
mean
gave up
the
no
Yankees.
runs, right?
Yeah. So he he
Against
he gave up three runs, but they found himself to come back into the 6th inning, and then the Yankees just backed them up with the hitting. So they did good and they won and they swept 4 games. It's not easy to sweep against the Astros because the Astros are the Astros, dude. Come on,
and in
they're a good
Houston,
team,
right?
and in
In
Houston,
Houston.
yeah.
That's the
So
most impressive part.
okay, so that's the most impressive, I guess match in the AL for you.
Yeah, man, it was kind of impressed how the Yankees batting came alive too at the middle innings. They didn't back down and they fought out. And
Yeah,
the Astros team is a team right now that is dealing with some injuries with the rotation. We are aware of that, but it's still, like you said, the Astros, a team that always competes and always fights back. They never give up. But this time around, could this possibly be the end of a run of the Astros going into 2024?
that's a big question mark. We thought that last year. Remember, we thought they weren't going to make it to the playoffs. They were down on winning on the division. I guess the Texas Rangers got it slowed down, so that's why they won the division. And they had
Mm-hmm.
that remark. Bregman said, "Everybody, I don't know what the quote was, but I'm pretty sure you guys heard that quote." Let's get into the NL though. We want to go into the Nationals and Reds. The Reds took that series 2-1. The Giants and Padres, they split the series there, but these two teams looked pretty hard. I did watch the game today. They were passing it on MLB Network, and I'm like, these guys are pretty good. They're not that slouchy. A lot of people talk about the Padres not being a good team, and then the
Oh no.
Giants, the signings that they got for that team to be competitive, I think it's going to be amazing to see down the road. And then you have the Pirates and Marlins, and the Pirates swept the Marlins. Everybody keeps talking about how the Marlins are going to be something, special. I think they're hurt. Their pitching is a little hurt for them for right now. So I think the Pirates, I think it's too early for me to say that Pirates are going to do good. It's just I feel like they're on an uprise. They're getting their teams together. They're getting their prospects together. They're getting all these teams together. So it's going to be pretty good. Then you got the Rockies versus the D-backs. The D-backs took 3 out of 4 in that one. The D-backs didn't stop though. They kept hitting from
Dude.
last playoffs. And now I know it's the Rockies, but still, it's a major league team. And you got to
Yeah.
respect the D-backs, right? The D-backs did really good, dude. Like, I honestly was like, wait, this happened last year. They scored like 16 runs or something like that. I don't know how many runs they scored.
Dude,
But this
Lourdes Gurriel, MVP already. After one
already,
weekend.
yeah.
Yes.
So they're doing good, man. And I don't think the D-backs are slowing down. I think they did a good thing on signing, I can't think of his name, but we'll talk about him a little bit later. And then we got the Braves and the Phillies, dude. And that one was a good, series because
Ooh, what an
that
impressive.
one was where I saw a lot of bullying on the Phillies fans' part against the Braves. I saw Strider trying to warm up, and everybody was booing him out there. And I'm like, how is it that Strider is not even phased by this? So they did take 2 out of 3, which they were rain delayed on Thursday, so they played that Friday game and they played consecutively. So that kind of, I just want to mention Nola did take an L for you guys that like Nola out there for the Phillies. He took
Got
an L
rocked.
against the Braves. Yeah, he got rocked. So
So did Max Fried, though. It was
y-
like, what's going on? They're two aces going at it, battling it out, and both guys getting rocked. It was like, it's just offense is too impressive for both teams,
yeah, and they're going to be in the mix all the way to the end of the season. There was one strike that wasn't called for free. They would have changed
Oh,
everything,
man.
and I think everybody's seen that call, right? I
It
think
was
everybody's
bad.
talking.
That would have
Yeah,
been the end of the inning. So if you guys
right.
haven't seen, check out our Instagram page. We put the Max Fried strikeout that should have been a strikeout. The
Yeah.
umpire basically calls it a ball. The at bat continues, and Fried never gets out of this inning. It's kind of, it's like, what's going on with MLB? And then you kind of question, do we start to bring robot umpires into the league now because of this?
Yeah, and that's one of the things we should be talking about. We'll be talking about later on and during the season. And right now, I feel like maybe the umps are a little rusty, so we'll give it up to them and be like, okay, we'll let it happen. And then we got the Brewers and Mets, and that one was an interesting one. That one's a 3-game series, and the Mets got swept by the Brewers, and there was a little bit of altercation and a little bench clearing in that series. And we'll go ahead and talk about it a little bit right now, since we're already in that series. We got one more series after this, but let's go ahead and talk about this one. If you were not aware of this, what happened, I think this happened on Friday, I believe, right?
Yes.
And Rhys Hoskins slid into second base. I guess the Mets have a history of second basemen and shortstops getting hurt by the slide, I guess. And I'll go ahead and show the video, but I just feel like, I don't know, man. When this happens like this, I feel like sometimes the second baseman needs to have a better footwork to get out of the way. He didn't have good footwork to get out of the way. As you can see, Hoskins slid into second and took him out. But then again, this guy did not get out of the way after he missed the ball. Like, if he would have made the throw or he would have made all this thing happen, that altercation wouldn't happen. But then again, McNeill is just one of those guys that likes to cry a lot, dude. And
Dude.
right? I mean, what do you think? What do you think?
I was kind of disappointed in McNeill. I didn't think it was a really bad slide at all. I think he just has a history with Rhys Hoskins being from the Phillies. As you guys are aware, Rhys Hoskins was with the Phillies previously, a rival for the Mets, a guy that hated so much. This is Jeff McNeill in the past. Look how the way he's sliding towards the Atlanta Braves second or shortstop there. That looks like a bad slide to me. That, for me, is a bad slide. Rhys Hoskins, a guy that's overcoming an ACL injury, I don't see him trying to break McNeill's leg like that, man. For me, it was not a 30 slide. The umpires didn't even call it a 30 slide. And
No.
you know what? I just wish Rhys Hoskins would have defended himself there, and then he would have went up to McNeill and would have told him, "Why the hell you're complaining?" Instead of doing the crying, and the dugout. Like, bro, go talk it up with them. Don't be scared. Like, let it be known. And Rhys Hoskins didn't back down, man. The New York fans booed the heck out of Hoskins, but he still showed out, man. He got a 2-run single in the first inning the following game, hit a home run. It looks like this, it helped him. Hoskins just performed at another level. And it's a guy that Phillies kind of went away from him. They didn't want to pay the guy, kind of thought, it's time to move on. But no, man, Hoskins still has it. And I was kind of impressed. I just wish he would have defended himself then and there at second base.
At second base, right? He should have been like, "Hey, man, what the hell's your problem? Like, back off, whatever it is."
Exactly.
But I got a question for you, since it is the New York Mets, and I feel like this is going to be a good question. Who do the Mets hate more, Utley or Hoskins? Because remember, Utley, he slid into second to break a double play, and he broke someone's leg, and the Dodgers ended up winning that game, and they went back to New York and played another one. The Mets did win the series, but they were mad because of Utley slide. Now that Hoskins did this, you think that they hate on him a little bit more than they do Utley because it's present?
Oh man, it's funny to me how both guys once played for the Phillies. Utley played for the Phillies, and so did Hoskins. And I just
Yeah.
find it funny, but I think if you ask any old school Mets fan, they will tell you they still hate Utley even more. The Silver Fox did break somebody's leg, and that's the difference to me.
Yeah, that's true.
And that did affect. I forget. I always recall the guy that he broke his leg, but
I
he
think it's
went on.
Flores.
Yes,
Flores, I
Flores.
believe.
It was
Yeah.
Flores, and he
Yeah.
went out to miss the next series because of that injury, right?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
affected his payoff run. Here,
Yeah.
Hoskins, this is the opening week, guys. We gotta sit back and realize, nothing really happened to McNeill. He did not get hurt, and turnout events, everything turned out to be fine. It was just McNeill kind of got upset and started screaming at Hoskins, which was kind of
Yeah.
like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the bench is cleared. It was on a funny weekend. And
That's
then the
true.
following day, what did happen? If you want to tell the people what happened the following day.
So Ramirez, the bullpen guy, decided to throw at Hoskins and they didn't hit him. The same thing that happened with the Dodgers with Utley when Thor tried to throw at Utley and threw right behind him. They didn't hit him. So they did serve suspensions. They're gonna get 3 games, and Mendoza, the manager from the Mets, is also gonna get 1 game suspension because of that. So it's gonna be. I'm pretty sure they're gonna appeal it because they're losing, and if they're losing, why would you try to hit someone, right? But it's all up to MLB and see what happens. But it's amazing. It's amazing to me that if you're given one task to hit a player and you throw behind them, this happened twice already. You tried to hit Utley back in the day with Thor, and he didn't hit him, and now this guy doesn't hit him, and he's gonna have to serve a 3 game suspension. So if you're gonna do it, make sure you hit him. Make sure you hit him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's all part of the game, which is good. So that's what I meant. The rivalry, it's there. It's there, and it's good for fans to see these things. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and put this one up here, and I feel like this one was a little bit more aggressive. As you can see, Mookie Betts is running through second base, and look at that. He almost got him, but because of his footwork, he got out of the way. Right?
Yes, Mookie dodged the bullet there. That would have been a serious injury right there.
Exactly. So as you are a second baseman, shortstop, your footwork needs to be there. I don't know what they're teaching the kids now. I don't know what they're saying, but when we teach these kids and when I practice with them at whatever we're at, I tell them your footwork needs to be a lot better. You need to be able to move out of the way because they're sliding into second. You don't know if they're going to go over second. You don't know if they're going to slide at last second. You need to have good footwork. And McNeill, it looks like he doesn't have good footwork, so he should be pissed off at himself instead of being pissed off at Hoskins. So,
all right, you tell him, coach. Tell him.
All right, we do have one more series, and that was the last one here at ESPN, and that's why we waited for that game to end. And the Dodgers did take that series 3-1, which was kind of amazing to me, seeing Bobby Millard strike out 11 people on Friday, which we couldn't see because Apple decided to show that game. And how are you going to grow the game if you're showing these games in Apple? I'm not trying to buy another app. Come on, you guys are already doing it in football. Man.
You gotta have Apple TV, Peacock, MLB Network. And you also have to have MLB.TV. But wait, you get blackout. You can't get all the blackout games in MLB.TV.
Right? That sucks. I was looking at the price. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I need to cut my cable and I just get MLB Network, MLB.com. And nope, I can't do that because my local team won't be able to. I won't be able to see it. So I don't know, man. I just feel like we've been talking about growing the game, and we in this show we've been always saying we need to try to get new fans, we need to try to get new people involved with baseball because the young generation is not excited about it. So what are we doing? We're deciding to go, get these apps and show the games there where we already have too many apps out here, man. You have cable, you have apps going on, you have streaming services, you have all these things that you can watch baseball, but then you block out the ones that you really want to see. And that sucks. That sucks.
It's only worth it if you root for a team that lives outside of your region.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
I agree. And that's what they're trying to do. I'm not saying that they're trying to monopolize it, but it looks that way because we're not getting the games. It happened in football, dude. It happened in football, and it was the least most watched game when the Chiefs played in Peacock. And that's what's happening here, where Apple streaming services are not allowing to let you see the games because you have to buy that app. And I mean, I didn't see the game. I didn't see the game on Friday.
What?
Yeah, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. So
Come on,
I
Carlos. It's only 2 months free. Jump on it.
dude, I only get the three day free. I don't get the whole month. I need to, maybe now that the phone is hearing me, maybe I'll decide to be like, well, let's give them the month, or the 2 months. Yeah. All
But how
right. So
you feel about your Dodgers, though? They just had a overcame a deficit right now, and we're able to win. How do you feel about Max Muncy taking the lead for them?
you know what? Max Muncy is one of the old players that I kind of feel like he's always done that. So it's one of the things where I don't um, feel surprised him doing that. I don't see Freddie Freeman. I see Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Muncy, who else? Jason Hayward, Kike, all these guys always come through. And then Chris Taylor, dude. Chris Taylor is one of the top players that does that all the time. And a lot of people may think, oh, but he strikes out a lot. Yeah, he takes a lot of pitches for that pitcher to get tired. So by the time, he gets out, the next batter had already seen how many pitches he threw and what pitches he's throwing. So there's a lot to it, not just about batting average, about exit velocity, and all that stuff. You have hitters that go up there and take pitches. So I kind of expected that to happen. I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything like that, but
Okay.
one thing that I do feel like a lot of Dodger fans right now are frustrated with Ohtani. We do need to understand that Ohtani is going through these things with gambling, like whether it's not being mentioned, whether it's
The
not being
scandal, right?
exactly. So I think they just need to like back off a little bit. He did have Tommy John, or well, I don't know what the name of that surgery was, but he had surgery that could be bothering him too. He came back a little bit earlier than expected, so that's a huge thing, dude. And I feel like when a player has surgery, like I feel like it's one of those things where people forget that these are human. They're human. They're playing every day. They have little sores and bumps, so it is what it
Look at
is.
Tony Anthony.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Man, what an impressive Otani. Otani, if you guys are not aware, Saturday night's game, the Dodgers actually did lose one game of this series. And the Dodgers took it to extra innings on a rainy Saturday night here in LA. And Otani had the opportunity to get his first walk-off win against and it was like, man, come on, Otani, this is what you're getting paid for. And like
Yeah,
Tony says, Otani popped it up and ended up the game, which a lot of Dodger fans were kind of disappointed, man. They
yeah,
expected more. But it can happen to anybody. It's a big pressure moment, and Otani is dealing with a lot right now with the
yeah,
scandal, overcoming injury, and he's still waiting to find that first home run in a Dodger uniform. And
yeah,
it's taking
yeah,
a little long time, if you ask me. With the
yeah.
Angels uniform, it was just coming almost every other day.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll have to wait for that. Hopefully it'll happen soon. And it's the start of the season. It's the first week. And yeah, man, that's the recap. Anything else that we missed that was a highlight? We missed the Caballero actually, rounding third, and then you
Yes.
had. You want to go over that one?
Yeah, so we had another brawl this weekend, another bench clearing brawl between the Rays and the Blue
The
Jays.
Blue
It was
Jays.
one of those funny, like, what is going on? Caballero basically got a base hit, overran the bases, and the pitcher, Genesis Cabrera, got really upset. And as Caballero was in third base, Cabrera just shoved him in the face. And it was clear the whole benches, but everybody was like, what is going on? These two teams don't seem to like one another. I don't even understand why it even started, Carlos. I'm still trying to understand why. But Cabrera is currently suspended right now for doing this incident, and it's going to be a fun AO East rival because there's a lot going on between these two. They're kind of compete with the Yankees and Rays, man.
Yeah.
So a lot of fighting. Oh, and talk about fights. Petco Park, what's going on, man? There was a lot of fights out there. People throwing hands. This Giants and Padres rivalry is going to be the next one too, man. These
Yeah.
guys don't like each other. SoCal versus NorCal.
Mm-hmm.
Two teams competing, trying to be the Dodgers' next second biggest threat. But I don't know, man. Fans are just being ruthless out there. I was like, what is going on? Stay classy, San Diego.
Dude, I did see, I did see that. I did see that, and I didn't like. I kind of felt like, what the hell's going on with these Giants and Padres? So it seems like there is a rivalry. It's been a rivalry for a while now because it is that northern, Southern California thing that they have rivalry. We have the rivalry with the Giants. If you guys didn't know, I'm a Dodger fan. We have the rivalry with the Giants and the Padres. they have that rivalry with them. But the fans fighting out there, it was kind of, you expect that at Dodger Stadium, and you expect that, to see that on the news. But we saw the Padres and Giants, and we're like, what the hell is going on over there? But they split the series, which was good for everybody. But
It was
let's get
crazy,
into
man. I was watching the Padres Giants yesterday, and it was like Fox LA is showing the Padre and Giant game, and I was watching that on a Saturday night. I'm like, this is strange. It should be the
it's
Dodger
strange.
game being shown. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Instead of showing the Yankee Astros, they showed Padres Giants, and it was a great game.
yeah, true.
Yeah, both teams have a offensive power and have pitching. Jordan Hicks looks amazing, man. A
Yeah,
bullpen guy converted into a starter, and I was like, this guy is throwing heat. It's a
yeah.
hittable thing, hittable pitches, and it looks great for the Giants.
He was supposed to be a starter with the Cardinals, though. It just didn't
Yeah,
work out and pan out that way. But now he's doing it with the Giants. They're slowly working them to get more innings in, and I think they're doing a good job. With that, let's get into what we're gonna be doing now from now on to do the power rankings. And
cool.
if you don't agree with it, go ahead and put it on the message. It's fine. If you get mad, it's fine too. Like everybody has their power rankings and we have our power rankings. So we'll
It'll be
start
the
with
Real Talk Baseball Power Rankings.
yeah, that's what it is. And if you have any comments, go ahead and put it on the message board. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't hit the like button on the video, go ahead and do it. If you don't like the show, let us know you don't like the show and we can improve whatever you don't like about it. But let us know. Don't just, stay in the dark and don't act like, oh, yeah, I told them. Like, no, you didn't if you didn't put it on the message board. Right, Ernie?
Yes, man. It's one of our first Sundays being live, and it's kind of exciting, man. I'm actually enjoying it right now because like this game's just really happened, and I'm able to talk baseball right away instead of waiting till Monday night. You let us know, for all you listeners out there, let us know what you guys think. We're considering even going to Sunday night shows, or if you guys prefer a Monday night recap show. So let us know. It's one of those where we're testing things out today. It's Easter. We're all home. It's raining. Let's enjoy the night and watch baseball.
Sounds good. All right. Tony said Dodgers better be number one. Real talk. Yeah. Well, they better. We'll see at the end of the season. We'll see at the end of the season. So, all right, let's go, man. Who do we put last place in the 30 spot from all the 30 teams in the MLB? Do we put the White Sox? Do we put? Do you think the White Sox or the Athletics going to be at the end? Like, which two teams are going to be at the end?
All right, let's just start with the White Sox since they got swept this weekend. And then we can move on to the A's as a following team.
Okay. I'll put the White Sox right there. And then I'll go put the A's. So that'll be the White Sox 30, the A's on the 29. All right. Sounds good. Because they got their first win, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
On a walk. Just, gotta find a way to win.
Hey, you have to find a way to win. So that's a good thing. Like they did what they needed to do. All right. So let's go move on. Let's go to the next one. We got?
Let's go Rockies. What are your thoughts on that? I think the Rockies definitely belong there. I didn't think they made enough moves. They got demolished by the Diamondbacks this week. And even though they won one game as well, but I don't see them competing as much.
Yeah. Okay. I can't move this one. There we go. All right. There we go. Got it. The Rockies. All right. So let's go to the next one, man. What do you think of the Nationals being number? Okay. Let's move with the Nationals. Do you see the Nationals here? Oh, there we go. Let's put them on here. It's just, I feel like the Nationals, the Rockies, they didn't do anything. The A's didn't do anything. And I feel like the Sox, dude, like what's going on with the Sox? Yeah, why haven't they done anything? So
they didn't do much. They traded Dylan Cease away, and it's kind of a lot of question marks.
All right. Let's go move on, man. Who's going to be that next one? Is it the Marlins?
I'm between the Marlins and Cardinals, dude. It's one of those where like Marlins got swept this week, and then the Cardinals didn't look that great this week. I mean, yes, obviously they won one game.
Yeah.
But it wasn't one of those where like 1 out of 4. I have a lot of question marks going into the season. I didn't think they did enough. It looks like a team that's, a little past their prime, if you ask me.
Okay. Let's do the Marlins because they don't have all their pitching there right now.
Yeah, that's true.
And they got swept. So let's just put that there. Let's put the Washington. Sorry. The thing is not moving right. What's going on? There we go. All right. So then we got one more so we can put the 25th spot right here. So who do we got?
For me would be the Mets. They got swept this weekend. They got upset. They got one hit baseball on the first game of the season. and they didn't look good. But yes, it's between my Angels too, Tony. I get it. I get it.
I
But
think
we
we'll
won. We beat the Orioles today. You got to be impressed by that, man. One game out of three. That's pretty impressive in Baltimore.
yeah, yeah. All right. So then we got our first five. Our first six. We got the Mets, the Marlins, the Nationals, the Rockies, the A's, and the Sox. If you don't agree with those, put it in a comment and see what we get.
Yeah,
But I agree with this one. I think these teams need a lot more help. They're on the help section, So I think the Mets have a lot of payroll, right? They have a big payroll, but it's just not showing on the field to me. Lindor is not playing the way that I've seen him play out there in Cleveland. I feel like when he went to the Mets, it just kind of fell apart. He's not the one player that I saw in Cleveland. So ever since he's been with the Mets, I just haven't seen this guy perform, and he needs to turn it around for sure. All right, so let's go to the number 24. Who is 24 on the list?
yeah, man. I think it's between the Angels or either the Cardinals, man.
The Angels or the Cardinals?
But can
Let's
we move the Mets to the next year? It looks like the Mets should be on the next 19 to 24 list.
19 to 24. Let's put him up
Wait,
here.
wait,
Then.
25. Sorry. No,
30.
you're right. You're right. You're right. It should be
Okay.
right. It's fine like that.
Okay. Cool. No, we're good. We're live. It happens.
Just making sure, man. It's our first time running through a rankings, but yeah, man. Where is the chat at? We want to ask your opinions, but it's definitely between the Cardinals and the Angels. What are your thoughts on that?
All right. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like the Angels need to belong right here in 24. Why? Because they didn't do so many pitching moves. They didn't do what they needed to do to try to fix that starting rotation. At least
Yeah.
the Cardinals, they went out and got their people that they needed to
Okay.
at least pitch. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the Angels on 24.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree with that.
you agree with that one?
Even
24,
as an
and then
Angel fan, dude, we didn't do nothing, man. It was a quiet off season, and
and
Reed Denver showed out today. But other than that, it was looking bad this first two games. Like it seemed like the season was already over, giving
yeah.
up over 12 runs every game.
Dude, I saw a lot of posts from Angel fans already calling their season, and I'm like, no, man, don't do that. There's 162 games. Anything can happen. All these superstars could get injured. Maybe the rookie, like, what is it? The rookie juice comes out,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Sure.
you start drinking it, and you do wonders. So don't give up, man. Dude, I know you're an Angels fan. Don't give up too soon. Don't give up too soon. All right, let's put the Cardinals. We'll put them on 23. And then who do we got next on the list? Do you feel like this is
Yeah.
going to be kind of tough because I did see that you have Boston, you have Pittsburgh, you have the Brewers, but the Brewers did sweep, so I'll probably pick the Brewers a little bit more down.
How about the Guardians?
You
I
want to?
know they won 3 out of 4 against the A's, but it's the A's, guys. I know it's
Yeah,
an MLB's team still, but it wasn't nothing impressive out there to tell me like, hey, this is a team that should be in another tier level.
yeah, I got you. All right, we'll continue with that one. Let's go to the next one. We got Cleveland, we got the Angels, Cardinals, and Cleveland. Who do we got next? Do you want to? I think the Boston Red Sox, to me, dude, they're in a tough division. They didn't make any moves. They
Yeah.
needed to make some moves to compete with that tough division, and they didn't, dude. I think I'm gonna put the Red Sox there.
Okay.
And I know the East Coast. If there's any Red Sox fans here, you're gonna be mad at me, but that's what it is. They didn't do enough for me to feel like they need to be part of the 18, or the next level, and that's just what it is. All right, let's
Yeah,
go into the
definitely.
next one, man. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to what is this? 20. This is number 20, right?
Yeah, number 20 here. I know the Pirates and the Brewers. How about it's either between the Royals between me here, Royals or Tigers. I know Tigers also swept this week, but
Yeah,
the Tigers also faced the White Sox, and you only did win by 1 run.
yeah.
I don't know, man. I
I
don't.
think I'm gonna go ahead and do. Let's do the Tigers. Let's put the Tigers, and then
Okay,
we'll put. Let me put them over here. Sorry, yeah, it keeps sliding.
I
There we
feel like
go.
it could rotate either or, but yeah.
It can
And then
rotate. Yeah,
what other team do you see here?
the team that I see kind of like struggling, and I feel like they don't have a lot. I feel like it's the Milwaukee Brewers, dude. So I don't know if you agree with me because they
Yeah,
didn't do a lot. I feel like they didn't do enough to try to win that Central Division. because you do have the Cardinals, which they made a little bit of moves, but they're behind you, and then you have the Cubs still and the Reds, and you didn't do enough to try to compete with those two teams. I'm not saying the Cubs or Reds are way better than this team, but I don't know. Like Freddy Peralta is the only one that I know that's out there. They traded away their ace. So we
Yeah,
got
man.
let's see.
We got a
Let's
couple
see.
action here in the chat. Looks like Jasper's on. Good evening, fellas. Thank you for tuning in, Jasper. We're happy to see. Hope you're doing okay out there in Indiana. And
Yeah.
good luck in fantasy this season. We have Tony saying the Tigers going to surprise a lot of people with their pitching this year. And I definitely agree. It looked like an impressive first weekend already. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't consider them 13 to 18 just yet. I feel like it's just one weekend. We just got a very small sample size yet. We still need to see a little bit more before they move to the next tier level.
Yeah, and I agree, dude. I do agree that they're going to surprise, and that's why I kind of want to pick the Pirates, either the Pirates or the Brewers. Who do you want to put in that 19 spot?
Damn, these both teams are undefeated, Carlos. I want to put the Royals
Okay,
first before I
yeah,
put these undefeated teams.
yeah. You know what? I did skip the Orioles. I mean, the Royals. The Royals did make moves this offseason, which kind of impressed me. But is it enough? Is it enough to be that number 18 in that 13-18 bracket? I don't think. I think they're a little older, dude. So
Yeah, Michael Walker, Seth Lugo. I'm not sure. Brady Singer looks nice, but
yeah,
Cole Reagans looks good. But I don't know. There's a lot of question marks still yet there.
yeah. Tony said Pirates, but I think the Pirates are going to surprise, dude. I'm going to go ahead and put the Brewers before I do the Pirates. And that's because the Pirates do have these young studs there, man. And just like Tony said that the Tigers are going to surprise people with it, I think the Pirates, I'll take them at 17. They're going to
Okay.
surprise people. They're going to surprise people. I got a feeling they're going to surprise, man. So,
Right.
yeah. Who do we got at number 17? I mean, 16.
Oh man, it's getting tougher. All these teams
It
are
is.
really good.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm here in this moment. I would say either the Cubs or the Reds. I expect a little bit more from the Cubs. They are
Mhm.
dealing with a lot of injuries. Justin Steele went out first game with a hamstring injury. They are dealing with a couple other guys in the IL to start the season. A lot of question marks going into the start of the season.
You want to put the Cubs before the Twins, though?
I don't
That's
know,
a tough
man.
one. That's a tough one because you do have the Twins that, you know what? Let's leave the Cubs right there and let's put the Twins right behind them because
Okay.
I think the Twins do have a little bit. They have an easier division. So we'll see. We'll
Twins
see.
first.
Yeah.
It's like Tony saying Twins first. Yeah,
Tony, why? Tell me why the Twins first and then the Cubs? I know your boy Bellinger is on the Cubs, but did they do enough? Did they do enough to go to the world to go to the playoffs? Last year they lost their last three, giving the Diamondbacks that chance to go in. What's going to change for that team to go into the playoffs? Because the Twins can't make it the playoffs. That's why we're putting them there. So let's see what he says. Let's see that makes sense with the Twins right after. Yeah. So
I think he agrees with you.
yeah, there we go. Good. All right, let's go to the next one, man. And this is going to be number, what is it? Number 14?
Yeah, number
14.
14. Man, I got to go with the Reds here. I just feel like they still need a little bit more pitching. I know they're still young, and as a team on the verge of possibly making the playoffs this year, but I still need to see it just a bit more before I move on to the next tier.
Yeah, I agree with you, dude. I think what needs to happen with the Reds is the same thing that happened with the Orioles. They need a veteran pitcher. And I'm not talking about, Nick Martinez. I'm not talking about someone that is an older pitcher. No, you need veteran experience that's been to the playoffs, that's been to the World Series. Even if you decide to go get Scherzer, let's just say, I'm just throwing out a name out there. If you were to get Scherzer on that team, he knows how to prepare for those type of games. He knows how to get you to that playoff game and win those playoff games. So I just feel like the Reds are a little bit off, not on the right path to win or go into the playoffs, but they are on the verge of doing so.
That's
They've
true,
got a lot of young talent.
but they just lost Matt McNeill is out for a while with a shoulder injury. Marte's out with a suspension.
Yeah,
a lot of question marks there, and I still think they're going to compete, but I think that's where they sit perfectly for me. Number 14 for me.
Number 14. All right, let's go number 13. And this is where it's going to start getting tough because we still have the Yankees, the Mariners, the Rays, the Blue Jays, Astros, the Braves, the Orioles, Phillies, San Diego, the
Oh,
Giants, Dodgers, Texas, and Arizona. And I feel like all these teams made the playoffs last year, for the exception of the Giants and
and the
Padres.
Padres. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm going Mariners here. I think I just feel like they're lacking of offensive power. I feel like they ride too much on Julio Rodriguez and depend on him to do the most. Obviously,
yeah,
the pitching is one of the greatest pitching rotations out in baseball, but
yeah,
there is a lot of question marks in the offensive side. And
yeah.
it's a team that fell short in the playoffs last year as well. Was in the mix all season, and just gave the Rangers and the Astros a chance to compete at the end.
Yeah, and you're looking at those four teams right there. You're looking at the Mariners, Reds, Twins, and Cubs. Those are potentially teams that can make it to the playoffs and beat you because remember, those teams are always going to be the ones that you didn't think that they were going to make it there, but then they make it and then they beat you because they play that wild card game, and that wild card game is different than what it was before. We had 2 seasons with top team, the best records. They got eliminated right after the wild card team beat them. So,
Yeah, man, that was kind
yeah,
of not
yeah,
impressed with that.
yeah,
All right, so let's move on to the number 12 and number 11. These are two teams that fall, 2 seats short out of the top 10.
yeah. I think, and I don't know if you agree with me. It could go Giants, Padres, or it can go Padres, Giants here. What do you say?
Man, it's a coin toss in this point. They're both very competitive. Both seem too similar to me. Um, let's just give the Giants the edge because they split the series this weekend and it was in San Diego. So I'll give them the advantage over the San Diego Padres just for that reason.
Okay, and you know what? They did sign Blake Snell. So Bob Melvin has a good relationship with Blake Snell. So we don't know what the effect is going to be once he comes into the pitching rotation. But as of now, the Giants do have a nice little rotation. We talked about Jordan Hicks, pitching and being the starter there. And you're talking about Logan Webb and, Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray's injured. He's a Cy Young Award winner, too. So you're going to have
Yeah,
3 Cy Youngs in that rotation. Think about that. So they could move into the top 10 maybe in 2 weeks or 3, depending on how their pitching staff does and they're hitting. You have Soler, you have Chapman, you have older guys that are in that part of that team, but they know how to hit. They know how to hit. So, how's it going,
definitely.
Raleigh, man? We're here. I know you're a Braves fan. There's Dodger fans in here. World Profound. How's it going, dude?
There's Dodger fans.
Everybody, I know. We have Angel fans in here. We have White
Woo,
Sox
let's
fans in
go.
here. So that's a good thing. Let's go, man. If you can do us a favor and hit that like button for us and share the video, that we are really appreciate it. We are on live on Easter Sunday. We're trying out the Sunday, and we usually go on Mondays. But if you guys like us to go on Sunday, then we'll do it on Sunday. Talk baseball. Why not? Right after all the games are over, and we'll do our recap right there and then. All right, we're at the top 10 now, dude. We reached it. We got the
Let's
top
go.
the top of the crop here,
So do you
and
think all these 10 teams are going to make the playoffs this year?
all
That we're
these
going to
teams
talk?
here, they better. Yeah, I think they are,
They
dude.
better.
No, I mean, look at them, dude. Like none of these teams here that I see on the bottom. You're talking about the Yankees, Rays, Blue Jays. We talked about the Houston Astros getting swept by the Yankees, but they're still the Astros.
Yeah,
So we can't keep them out of the top 10 yet.
and
Or,
it
or
wasn't even though the Astros got swept, they were in it every game, guys. It's a team that was fighting to like almost the last out, and Juan Soto was the difference maker for the Yankees this time around, and
yeah,
that's probably what they need.
yeah,
Another bat in the middle of the lineup to
yep.
to help Aaron Judge.
That's true. That's true. And then you have the Braves, Orioles, Phillies, Dodgers, Texas Rangers, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. So we already kind of have our little list, and we already kind of feel like what we know. We'll go through the list, right, Ernie?
Yeah, man.
All right.
Let's
So
go
at
for it.
number 10, and if you don't agree, let us know. Number 10, we have the Toronto Blue Jays. And why do we
Okay.
have them at 10? Ernie, let them know. Let them know.
I mean, you look at that lineup from 1 to 9, and they have everything to compete with any other team out there in the MLB. It's a team that fell short last season in the playoffs, but they're out there and they're competing, and it's going to be a tough one out there in the AL East this year, guys. I feel that between them and the Rays, it's going to be a fight for that third seed and for that wild card position coming out of
Yeah.
the AL East.
Yeah. I just feel like there's not I don't know, man. There was all these news, they were trying to make trades and they were trying to get every Montgomery, they were trying to get, even Snell. They were trying to get Ohtani. They were trying to get everybody, but no one decided to go to Toronto. I know their hitting's there, but is their pitching going to hold up? And that's why we have them
Yeah.
at 10. That's why we have them at 10. Let's move on, man. There's another, and this just series just happened. We have the Rays at 9. Do you guys
Yes.
agree at 9? Let's see. Braves outscored Phillies 25. Yep. Let me put that on here.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Riley's saying Braves outscored Phillies 25-12. Just saying. Hey, you don't have to say it. We did see it. We mentioned it. We mentioned it at the start of the show, and I thought it was a good series. So we
Great
still
one.
have the Braves on here. Stick around, Riley. We'll see. You'll see where we put the Braves. They got a good team, and they stack up with all these teams that are still left on here. And it's our first time we're doing rankings. So if
I
you
love
want
it
to be
though.
if you want to be harsh to us, it's fine. I think we can
Let's
take
go.
it.
Let us know how bad our rankings are. Just let it
Exactly.
be known.
Yeah. All right. Next one, number 8. Who do we got at number 8? We got the Astros.
Yeah, I just feel like we got to drop them a little lower just because of this swept this weekend.
Yeah.
I feel like if they continue to struggle, then I think they fall out of the top 10. But for now, we have mentioned it. It's Astros. They're in the mix every year, and it's a team, fighting themselves with injuries right now in the starting rotation. But they'll find themselves back once Verlander comes back, and then who we got a lot. Lance McCullers in the injury list. Or
Yeah.
Urquidy's out.
That's
Man,
true.
they're out. A lot of guys are out in the rotation.
That's true. Look, I'm gonna do a little flip flop. I know we had the Diamondback 7 and the Philly 6. I think I'm gonna put the Diamondback 6 and flip the Phillies to 7
Dude,
because
D-backs look good.
yeah, they look really good. So I'll go put Phillies. I'll put them 7.
And don't get me wrong, the Phillies look great, but Aaron Nola getting rocked by the Braves was kind of concerning to me.
It was huge. It was a big deal, especially at home. How is
Yes.
that going to happen in Philadelphia? Like the Braves put it on them, dude, big time. So then I'm gonna go put the Diamondbacks number 6. If you don't agree with us, put it on the chat. But I think the Diamondbacks are in a good spot right here because they are hitting, like I said at the beginning of the show, they did, start hitting the way they left off. Back in last year's playoffs, and they were beating the crap. I know it's the Rockies. But yeah, I think 6 is a good spot. We're getting to the nitty gritty right here, man.
Top 5. All right.
Top 5.
I know
Let's
people are
see.
going to be upset at this one, man. So
Are they going to be upset?
there has
All
to
right.
be somebody. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to number 5. Who do we got? We got the Texas Rangers. And
Damn, World Series champions at 5, huh?
yeah, number 5. I just feel like they didn't do enough. I think they got the same team, dude. They got the same team. It's just other teams got better. Other teams in front of them got better. They got better.
Definitely.
They definitely did what they needed to do in the pitching side and the hitting side. And from what I've heard from from the past years, from 2000 all the way up here, there hasn't been a back-to-back, World Series champ. Why is that? Is I do believe in that World Series hangover.
Mhm.
It's happening. Maybe it's going to happen to the Rangers, and if it doesn't, damn, it's going to kick us in the butt. But this is the early season one. It's not where we're going all the way through and we're picking the Texas Rangers to flop out. No, they're going to definitely compete for that division title and go into the playoffs. So let's see. Okay. Wait. I forgot one, dude.
Who we
Didn't
forget?
even put this one. My bad.
Oh, just
Genesis said, loving the segment. It's interesting to see you discussing every team. Yes. Finally got to talk about every team, right? Cool. All right. Mario doesn't agree with putting Rangers in 6.
Oh, they're
All right.
actually number 5. Just
They're-
to clarify, the Rangers are top 5 right now.
They're
They're
top
number
5.
5.
They're top 5. All right. Let's go to the next one, Ernie. And who do we got, man? We got 4 left. And you got the Yankees, Braves, Orioles, Dodgers. And this could potentially be the World Series, right? This potentially
man.
can be the World Series.
This could
So
potentially be the NL championship and the AL championship.
agree. And it doesn't matter what order we put them. I think we're just putting them based on what's going on and what they signed and what they got going on with their team. So
And this rankings is based on week 1 too. What we saw, right? Like
yeah.
how we
So
saw them perform, and sometimes things could happen, and it doesn't mean they suck. It just means they just had a bad weekend.
yeah. All right. So which one do I click? Do I click the Orioles? Do I click the Braves? Do I click the Dodgers?
Oh no, man! You got
I'm
to put the
gonna
Yankees
click
4.
the
Yeah,
Yankees
man.
number 4. Let's put them right there. All
And
right.
you're lucky they're number 4 because last year they were not even top 10, guys. It's a
No.
team that obviously added Juan Soto to the middle of the lineup. And even with losing Garrett Cole, they look very impressive against this Astros roster this weekend. So
Yeah,
I give them credit where credit is due. And the Bronx Bombers look different this year. And that's great for baseball. So
that
4
is.
it is for me.
That is, and you know what? I do see that they played a tough team, and that's why we're giving them the 4 because they played a really tough team in the Astros, and that's why the Astros fell all the way down to number 8 because they didn't perform the way they needed to. So they got swept by the Yankees. That should have happened in the playoffs, but it didn't. All right, we're down to our last 3. We got the Braves, Orioles, and Dodgers, and I know a lot of people are gonna hate us for this, but who do we got number 3, Ernie?
I think we're going with Braves.
With the Braves.
I think that obviously they're still a stacked team from 1 to 9, a competitive team. But when you're relying on Jesse Chavez to win you the game, I have a lot of question marks if you're a top 1 with that. Uh, him and Jesse Chavez look great, but he's just a floater out there in the MLB. He's been in every team. And Ronald Acuna looking kind of quiet. And Michael Harris has been the most impressive player to me so far. So it's still a great team. And they did
Yeah.
face a tough Phillies team, but I still need to see a little bit more for me to give them top 1 this year. They let me down a couple of years back to back already. I expected them to be World Series champions by now, and they still haven't done it. So we'll see what happens this year.
I'll go ahead and put this on here, Raleigh. Again, Braves outscored the Phillies 25-12. He's just saying, but that this bracket can change next week, of course, and that's going to be one of those things where we're going to have to watch these games closely now because we're doing rankings, and this is kind of exciting, dude. So we got 2 teams left, and these 2 teams, they did what they needed to do this offseason. The Orioles went and got their ace. He proved it on opening day, getting 11 Ks, and I mean, the Orioles are stacked. The Dodgers are stacked. Who do we have in number 2?
Man, it's a tough one, man. It's a coin toss here. I'm just gonna go with the Orioles as number 2. I think I still find them a bit too young. But with the addition of Corbin Burns, it's incredible. He got 11 Ks on opening day and rocked the Angels pitching, man. They look really impressive, scoring over 10 runs in the first 2 games. And I was like, what is going on with my Angels? And these Orioles are here to stay. I'm just going to say
Yeah. Raleigh, you're saying you have blue shaded lenses?
that.
I get it. I get it. We're right here. Yeah. But it is going to change. It might change next week. We might have them at 1. We might have them at 2. And like I said, if you don't agree with these, it's great for baseball. It starts the conversation. We love it. And of course, we do have one last team, and it is the Dodgers. They went and spent over $1 billion to get their players here on
Dang.
Yamamoto, Otani, Teoscar, Hernandez.
Muncy, Will
Dude,
Smith, they paid.
they
They're,
paid, dude.
so they better win.
Yeah.
That's the question. That's the number one answer.
That's what it is. And all these players have that pressure now to win the World Series. And looking at the start of the season, how they started, do you agree with this going on right now with the rankings we did? It's pretty legit, I think. I
Yeah,
think
for sure.
and it's hard to do because you're talking about the top 6 teams. You can switch them up. It's not like you can have the Diamondbacks be number you can have them at number 3 or you can have them at number 2. You can have the Rangers number 3 or number 2.
Yeah.
But that number 1 spot, and I just want to say this before we log off this show, I feel like a lot of these rankings are East Coast bias. And I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting every podcast or every show on here on YouTube. I think it's East Coast bias, and that's why we're out here in the West Coast. And we still have East Coast teams on here on the top 5. Or top 6. But I think there's more teams that belong in that top 10 that are from the West Coast. And we will see that as the season goes on. Watch. We are paying dues to the Braves, the Yankees, the Orioles. They are out in the East, but we get to watch those games. The question for me to you is, do you watch the West Coast teams? And if you don't, start paying attention.
Yeah, man. It's kind of hard if you're in the East Coast. Games do start 10 at night. I was out there East Coast for a week, and it was kind of tough to watch these games. You had to stay up to 1 in the morning every day, and this was before they sped up the game. So It's kind of hard for people in their daily lives having to work and watch MLB. They only really catch the highlights, so it's kind of hard for them to really see what's really happening here to this West Coast teams. So,
Yeah.
I mean, overall, these rankings are great, man. I see them and I see these 1 through 12 looks impressive to me, and I see all these 12 teams having the possibility of making the playoffs this year, and
Yeah.
they're just stacked. And the teams that are in the bottom feeders right now, they're the teams that didn't spend money, man. And like the Mets, Angels, Marlins, Nationals, Rockies, Ace, Sox, they didn't do much to me. The owners were being cheap this year and just trying to rebuild, and that's not going to work.
Dude, did you see the opening day for the A's? It looked like there was a party outside, and there was nothing going on inside. I believe there was like 3,000 people in the stadium or something like that for
Yeah,
opening day. Yeah,
should have
that
the
kind of
smallest
sucks.
crowd.
And it's the last season that's going to be in the Coliseum in Oakland, dude. They're going to play somewhere else after the season, so it's bittersweet. I know it's bittersweet for people in Oakland because it's kind of like you don't want your team to leave, but then you're boycotting, and you might not know if they're going to stay because from the looks of it, Las Vegas is going to make that stadium, and it's a nice looking stadium. If you haven't seen the pictures, it's a nice stadium. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man. All right.
Tony
Anything
says
that
Dodgers
impressed
and
you? Go ahead.
I guess Tony said Dodgers and Braves and everyone else don't matter. Come on, Tony. It looks like the Orioles looking good too. Gotta give credit where credit's due. But yeah, you were saying what's one of the most impressive things this weekend you were mentioning?
Exactly. What was the most impressive thing to you this weekend from what we saw in baseball?
Oh, there was a lot. There was a lot of great, amazing moments. The Juan
Yeah.
Soto throw at home, the Max Fried missed pitch, Julio Rodriguez walk off, benches being clear for Jeff McNeill and Rhys Hoskins,
Yeah.
Genesis Carrera shoving a Caballero in the face with the Rays and Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Dude, everything stood out this week. And the way the MLB scheduled the Braves, Phillies, opening week, Houston Astros, and Yankees, man, this season's going to be a great one, if you ask me. And it feels like every team has like an MLB superstar, and it's looking great for the game of baseball. Every team, even when you think the team sucks, they have somebody up there that's going to be a name soon. You know, look at the Nationals, they have CJ Abrams.
Hmm.
Talk about the White Sox. Obviously, they don't really have much, but they still have Rhys Robert hitting 2 home runs in one game.
Yeah.
Dude, every team is stacked. The Pirates are making noise. And congrats to the 4 teams that are still undefeated. The Brewers, Pirates. Who else? Brewers, Pirates. Oh my God, Yankees and Tigers. Who would have
Tigers.
thought?
Tigers. That's why we gave a little higher ranking to the Tigers. And like Tony said, their pitching is going to be a surprise. I think I saw it last year. That we had a few people commenting on here saying that the Tigers might trade their pitchers to the Yankees. It hasn't happened. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Tigers are rebuilding now. So maybe next year they'll be one of the top teams out there in the Central.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
put this other
AJ
question on.
Hinch. AJ Hinch,
AJ Hinch.
making the difference there.
Yeah. Marlon says Otani's struggling. Yes, he is struggling.
Oh
I just
man.
feel like he's struggling because of all the things that are happening to him. He's human. He's human. We know it's going to happen, and I think we just need to relax a little bit. We have other superstars that can carry the team right now, and let him kind of find his groove and find his way of doing things. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think his interpreter was like a and he helped them with stretching and stuff like that too, right? Get ready,
Yeah.
prepare for the game. So if that was one of the main things he had him for, like, so you got to understand he is going to struggle a little bit because he needs to find that one trainer that's going to help him get to that point.
I have a
So
question for you. Do you think it also impacts that he's going from the American League to the National League now?
it
I know,
does. It
it's
does.
too soon, but do you think that makes an impact to a player?
It does, dude. It does, and not just not just changing leagues. I think it has a lot to do with it because you're going to a different team that you're not exposed to. He was with the Angels for 5-6 years, right?
Right.
Leaving the Angels, now you have to meet new guys. You need to understand what the ball club is all about. They're trying to win the World Series. They're trying to get to the World Series because it's not about just making the playoffs now for the Dodgers. Now
Right.
is win the World Series or bust. That's what it is. And that's why we have him number 1 ranked in the power rankings. So I think Otani might be pushing himself a little bit more than he has to. He needs to remember that there is other superstars there. There's Mookie Betts, there's Freeman, You have the other youngsters. You have the pitching staff that's doing pretty good right now, which is homegrown. They're not signed pitchers. The only one they went out and signed was Yamamoto. They traded for Glass now, and but I think Otani, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. He's the best baseball player we've seen in quite a while. So,
We're
yeah,
still waiting for that first home run, Carlos.
exactly. We are. Juan Soto already hit it. He hit
He
it with the
did.
Yankees. He hit it out there in Houston. So good for him. We reached the hour. We got to the hour, Ernie. Man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It
it
was
went pretty
exciting.
fast.
Super fast. I think we still have a lot of stuff of baseball to talk about, but we are Power Hour, and once that hour reaches, we do log off. If you're new to this channel, we would love for you to subscribe and like the video, share it to your baseball buddies. We are on Spotify, we are on YouTube, we are on this is
Apple.
YouTube, of course, Apple
Podcast.
Facebook, TikTok, on X and Instagram. So if you can follow us there on Real Talk Baseball. Anything else to say, Ernie, before we log off?
Well, I want to thank everybody that was on the show today. Make sure to let us know if you guys prefer a Sunday night live show or a Monday night live show. We had a great time with you guys going over the power rankings. And this is all about, man, baseball. We love this game, and that's why we're here. And make sure to check us out on Rival Fantasy if you guys want to compete against us on a weekly, daily draft. Tony, I just went ahead and faced him this week and, got my first victory after not playing years of fantasy baseball. So I'm back.
Oh.
So I'm excited. I'm a currently fantasy football champ. Just going to let you know. So fantasy baseball is different, but this is great.
Yeah. Nice. Tony thing. Yeah, it was fun, man. I like the interaction. I always say it in every show. I love the interaction and all this stuff. We are a live show, but we reached that hour. We got to go. So from all of us here at Real Talk Baseball, I'm Carlos Baseball. This is Ernie Orange. Real Talk Baseball, signing out.